Hey guys, it's Ken from Cactus Games, where we talk about and play board games. Today we're going to be talking about the UK Game Expo, which was held earlier this month. My wife and I traveled to the UK, attended the convention and did some touring as well. Today we're going to be talking about our experiences at the convention. So pull up a chair, join me at the table, and see what's going on after the break. Okay, so before we start talking about the Game Expo, let's talk about the trip itself and traveling around the UK. So we first arrived in London. We went and spent a day with friends on the East Coast there, Leon Sea and Felixstowe. After that, we traveled over to Bath Spa. From there, we went to the convention in Birmingham, spent several days there. Then we went to York, and then finally up to the capital of Scotland, Edinburgh. After that, we then traveled back to London and then flew back to the States. So we're going to talk about and show some of those photographs of our trip first before we start talking about the convention. Before we get to the expo, I'll share some details about the trip. We first arrived in London and spent a few days looking around before heading to other cities. We traveled throughout the UK mainly by rail. I think that folks in the UK like to complain about the rail system. Yeah, okay, the food's not so good, the coffee's pretty horrendous, but we really enjoyed it and it really made the trip a lot of fun. It was great to be able to travel between cities, not have to worry about the drive, not have to worry about parking the car. It just was really convenient. And one of the benefits of being on the train is you can sit back and just watch the landscape go by. It's absolutely beautiful, spectacular scenery throughout all of the UK. UK weather is really unpredictable. I recommend an umbrella and sunblock, often used at the same time. Sure, we got rained on everywhere we went. It's just kind of understood, right? But there were also bright, sunny days as well. Everywhere we went, beautiful, sunshiny days. And what do you get when you have got a lot of rain and sunshine? You get beautiful plants. And there are wonderful gardens all throughout the country. We visited cottages and botanical gardens where vegetables are growing, flowers. It was just truly spectacular. And when talking about visiting sites in the UK, you got to talk about the ancient sites, the castles, the towers, ruins, but also functional buildings as well that are just quite old. Around every corner, there was something for you to see, something for you to do, and it's just an amazing experience. Okay, so that's enough about the travel. Let's talk about board games now, because that's what you're really here for. One thing I want to mention first, before we get to the convention, is that when we were going through the UK, various places that we're visiting, we came across board game cafes. The first one we came across was in London, called Geek Retreat. It had a small selection. I think it was more of a Magic, the Gathering, and other sorts of living card game type of board game cafe. But they did have a small selection of board games. And Bo and I ended up picking up Carcassonne and playing a game of that. She absolutely crushed me in that game. I won't say embarrassed, but she beat me pretty soundly in it. The next cafe is the Thirsty Meeples. This was a cafe that we found in Spa. At the front of the store was a board game store with a cafe where you could get some drinks. And in the back, which is shown here in this part of the video clip, is the library. There's, I think, 1,100 games, they said, in this library. You can just grab one of those games, bring it to a table, and play a game. Another thing that was really cool about this place, the artwork. It was all board game themed. Okay, we made it into the convention. Mostly dry. Squeaky shoes though. The first thing we did is go to the vendors hall, because that's what you do. For those of you who have not been to a board game convention before, haven't seen a vendors hall, this is what it looks like. Complete chaos, right? But a lot of fun and a lot of stuff going on there. Of course, there's board game vendors bringing board games there, but there's also a lot of extra stuff as well. For example, you can get the little bins to store playing pieces in while you're playing the game. There's the really nice board game table display that you can check out as well. Yeah, I would like one of those tables, but we've got to be practical as well. But there's all sorts of stuff going on and lots to see and do. I mentioned earlier that you can play board games in the convention hall, and we got to play the spiritual successor to Kaido, that racing game that is very zen-like though. It's not a racing game where you feel any stress or anything. It's very relaxing and just kind of enjoyable. Well, that's Kaido. The spiritual successor is a game called Namiji, and in that one you are fishermen and going out and catching fish and scoring points that way. And we played that game. It was quite enjoyable. So later on, I got to play a game of Autobahn, which is produced by Alley Cat Games. They had a production model set up. It was they were using pieces from different games to provide the little trucks and little gas stations and the like. In any event, it was definitely a game I was looking forward to giving it a try. I got to play one round with another group of people, and it was quite enjoyable, and definitely a game that I'm looking for. It's going to be released later on this year. If you want more information about the game Autobahn, check out Alley Cat Games' website. I'll put the link in the discussion below. And if you want playthroughs, two of my favorite channels, Before You Play and Heavy Cardboard, both do playthroughs and really good teaches as well. I'll include links for both websites below. Okay, so we also bought some games when we were at the convention. The first game we got was Micro Macro, which is a game that we've heard some good things about, and we're looking forward to playing this with the family, the four of us. The other game that we got, it's notorious with our board gaming group. We've played this one once before. I just wanted a copy for myself. It's CO2, A Second Chance by Lacerda. I'm a Lacerda fan. I like his games a lot. Unfortunately, it's not the case for the entire gaming group that I'm part of. My wife is not a big fan of Lacerda, although she liked Vinhos a lot. But CO2, Second Chance, we played this game as part of our gaming group earlier this year or end of last year. We lost in the first decade playing the fully cooperative version. We immediately reset up the game, which is something we don't normally do, but we immediately reset up the game and tried again, and we got beat in the second decade. Okay, so that was our end of CO2, Second Chance. But my buddy and myself, we've played this game several times since, and we've actually got to the point where we've been able to win the game. So I'm definitely looking to revisit CO2 and then introduce this game to the other gaming groups that I'm part of as well. So those are our purchases for UK Game Expo 2022. So that was our experience at the UK Game Expo 2022. This was the first time that we've traveled abroad to go to a board game convention. The last time we went to a convention was in October of 2019 in Vancouver for the Shut Up and Sit Down meet, and it was a lot of fun then. Well, UK Game Expo was a lot of fun as well. We had a blast, and we really enjoyed traveling through the UK as well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and provide links for everything that we talked about today. You will find a link for the UK Game Expo. We'll have links for the board games that we purchased. also the board games that we played as well, and we'll also include links to those board game cafes that we mentioned in the earlier parts of the video. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching the video up to this point. Please click the like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you guys anything and it helps us out tremendously. Thanks very much for watching the video. Really appreciate it. So long. Bye now.